breaking news for our Caribbean American viewers. Stay tuned for the latest updates. This is a developing story. We are gathering all the essential details.
Caribbean American News Media, your Tuesday night power hour. Live every Tuesday at 8:15 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and GVV TV channel 115. Join your host, Garfield Oliver, as he dives deep into the latest inclusion developments, regional affairs, and global issues that matter to you. From politics to the economy, community stories to international headlines. We cover it all with real talk and real insights. Stay informed, get the facts, be part of the conversation. Don't miss out. Set your reminders, share with your friends, and tune in. Caribbean American News Media, the news you report.
Welcome to Caribbean American News Media. Let's get to work. I'm here to help.
Welcome to Caribbean American News Media, with me Garfield Oliver, the news you report. Let's get to work.
Well, a special good evening to all our viewers here on Caribbean American News Media platform. It is surely a blessing to be here with you tonight on another Tuesday. As a matter of fact, it is the 24th of March, I believe. Is it March? Yes. In other words, I'm just shocked with time. Time is just moving, fleeting into eternity. But greetings to all and welcome to Caribbean American News Media. It's good to be here with you tonight, Garfield Oliver. We've been batting together for the past eons for a very long time now. So greetings to all. Please share the live and tag a friend as you come in. Ensure that you share the live and you tag a friend as we get ready to have our program. The program is not going to be like the long programs that we had for the past 2 weeks. We've been having very long programs, but we're going to cut it short so that you can go to bed, that you can rest a little while, get yourselves together. All right, let me just check the sound quality and then we will be right back. Stay tuned. Tag a friend as we get ready. Yes, we are on. Yes, so tag a friend. Let them know that we're on. Share the live to those of you who are logging in via our Facebook channel, those of you over there on our YouTube channel, and I believe TikTok and the others should be up and running. I got to ensure that we're running on all of the platforms that we are supposed to be broadcasting on 360 Radio and all the others. But greetings again, folks. How was your weekend? Yes, I got myself very busy for the past 2-3 weeks. We've had a number of sick members with dead relatives, and so I've just been back and forth, up and down. I'm not sure if I should be in Florida this week. A St. Lucian member of ours lost their family over there in Florida. I believe Danny Butcher's family too. And so I'm not sure if I got to travel over this weekend. The service is on Saturday over there in Florida, so I'm going to keep it close there. But a lot of ups and downs that I've had to be running back and forth. Members with operation, emergency, and everything else. It's just been a little busy for me, but that's part of the service here to humanity, service to the people, and so we'll continue to do it. And I am also scheduled to be in Guyana on a mission in Guyana in the next few months. So I'm keeping it tight, friends. It's a lot of. I'm tired. I'm telling you, I'm really tired. if you look at me carefully, I am tired. We just got to keep going, friends. Well, good to have every one of you. Let me just big some of you up onto the platform. As you know, our YouTube channel is doing its thing over there. It is pushing, it is just always tete-a-tete, close head with our Facebook channel. I'm really not sure how that is possible, that our YouTube channel is really giving our Facebook channel a run also. So let's big up our brethren here. We have Cheryl Prince, greetings to you. Welcome to Caribbean American News Media Platform. Thank you, my friend Norenza, faithful support of this platform. Thank you for this 200 stars. Arnold, my friend, my brother, good night to you, my friend. Look, Lawrence here, Shappy. Good night to you, my doodoo. Greetings to you. I saw your missed call, by the way. I have not got it wrong as yet, but I will reach out to you. Xavier, greetings to you. Andrew, Sagafet, greetings. We have Constable. Let me know where you're watching from, folks. Jean Friends, my friend, greetings to you. Good to have you here on our platform. Mary, Shalmain, Saudia, Octivina, greetings to you. I hope I got your name right. Cleo, my friend. She's also there. She's been with me for a very, very long time. And oh my God, blessings to all of you. So let me run over. Well, Gabriella is just popping in. Greetings to you as you pop in. And for those of you who are viewing outside of the platform, I want to welcome you and greet you. Don't be shy to come in. I don't care where you're from, what's your affiliation, whether it's religious or political. Just come on into the platform. Let's have conversations. Welcome. As you know, this is a clean platform. We do not just go after people like that. But so greetings, come on in. All are welcome on the platform. And over there on the YouTube channel, the numbers are there, but my chat, I can't see the chat. It just disappeared from me. All right. And all the greetings. And Law, how are you? Joanna, greetings. Joanna, greetings. Look, Lydia Shapi, Lydia, my family, greetings. Lydia, Francis, thank you so much for coming in. And Maria, listen to me. You have been on this platform forever, and I want to welcome you tonight in a special way also. Good to see you. And that is Mac Bexo. Mac Bexo is in the house. I heard you had some murder, shooting or something in that community. Our condolences to the families over there who are bereaved at this time. All right. Yes, let me continue. We have Brazil is in the house. Brazil. Eliventon, greetings to you. Greetings all the way from Brazil. Good. Share the live, Tiger Friend, folks. Charles, good night to you. Good night to you. Let me see over here. Our chat is covered for now, so I'm going to hope that the live chat reload. Let me see if I can get it. Oh, it's back. It's back. All my regular from Swazel is over there. We have 972-6853-1322. Norville. Is it Patsy? Is it not three? Oh, yes, that's the lady who calls me Golden Voice. Greetings to you. I just recognize you. All the with YouTube, sometimes all the names come together and you can't really, figure it out. But I'm happy that I was able to catch you over there. A lot of faithful over there on our YouTube channel. Every one of you, appreciate you. Look, I think I am seeing Sylvia. I think I am seeing, and you just came to my mind just maybe 20 minutes ago before I came on. Yes, I believe that's what it is. You see, what happened is that there is some symbols and other things behind the names, so it's kind of difficult for me to break it down as in one word, and then there are numbers at the end of it. So I'll have to figure how to get that going. But that seems to be my friend, longtime friend and supporter, Sister, I hope I'm seeing right, Sylvia, and her friend and her husband. I think the last name should be Rical. I don't want to mispronounce it. Yes, I believe that's my friend over there. If that's you, maybe you can send me a text so I can receive your number. But I'm happy that you're there. I'm happy to know that that you're under the platform. I'm so happy because you came to my mind. You came to my mind earlier, and we have Denry in the house. I believe the last name is Jones. Yes, everything is just mixed up, so you got to forgive me. I see Allison over there from Swazel, and we have, is it Wills from England? From Wales in England, yeah. And Jones, good. All right, so we're going to get to work. It's just a lot. I got to figure out what's going on over there. We have Miko North also in the house over there in Miko North, that's in St. Lucia. I think I see a princess. But we're going to have every one of you. We love every one of you. All right? And I didn't say that like Mr. Trump. We love everybody. That's not what I'm saying here. Mary, how are you? Mary, greetings to you. All right. And we have Nadine. Greetings, Nadine. Joseph. And we have from Guyana. Guyana is in the... Oh, you're from Guyana? No? Oh, you don't speak English, Spanish? No, yes. Okay, no. Yeah. And my friend Cecil, greetings. Of course, greetings. Angelique. Muffin, yes. Thank you so much. Uh-huh. And Charles, greetings to you. Vanessa, Sagafet. Okay, good. So I believe we got it right on the platform, of course. Okay, so let's get to work, all right? Let's get to work. Tonight I want to hear from every one of you. We're going to open the lines. I want to know tonight what is affecting you. I'm not going to have a lot of those videos, or maybe I should not even do any videos tonight. We'll just have a conversation on 100 days, both in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and St. Lucia and St. Vincent. Yes, we are going to be having conversations on what is happening. What are you feeling in your community, in your country, wheresoever you're viewing us from? You can call us. The number is 929-586-1821, and let us know what is happening in your neck of the woods. How you're feeling, any questions, any concerns. You feel free. I don't care where you're from, what party you're from, what your affiliation. Just please, we're here for people. All right? Okay. People. We're putting people first. Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I came across some stuff. Hey, look, my other doo-doo, Lisa. Lisa, you abandoned me, huh? Yeah. I came across this, and Martin Francis, my brother from another mother, is on. Yes. And Petra is just coming in, and my friend Bravo. So I came across some stuff that I want us to check out. And one, this is from, I believe I got this from Sarah Alexander's page, and that is 100 days later and nothing has changed. Very interesting post, and I read it. Let me just read it for you. And it says in the first 100 days, I actually printed it so that I can have it on my desk. In the first 100 days, the reality on the ground tells its own story. Now remember, the lines will be open. The lines are open. You can call. I know I'm just playing with you. I know you will never abandon me. Winter greetings. Okay. So again, we want to hear from you. Oh, good. I got that text. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for confirmation. So now I retrieve your number. I'm going to make contact to see how things are going with both you and the husband. All right. Thank you so much. I feel so good because before I came on air 20 minutes ago, you were on my mind. You were just on my mind. I was trying to figure out if you're okay, what is going on. I will give you a shout by the grace of God. So in the first 100 days, the reality, and this is from Sarah Alexander, online blogger. In the first 100 days, the reality on the ground tells its own story. People still do not have reliable water service. One of the most basic necessities. At the same time, there is a continued push to sell off our prime lands for hotel development, raising serious concerns about ownership, access, and long-term national benefits. I continue to read. Beaches are now being fenced off in favor of developers, with local being prevented from accessing spaces that should belong to them. It increasingly feels as though foreigners are being prioritized over the very people of this country. The St. Jude Hospital remains uncommissioned despite years of promises. Marie's Fish Shack was supposed to come first, yet there is no meaningful evidence of that priority in action. We are still failing to ensure that every marginalized child is attending school, which speaks to deeper social and structural gaps. Even more troubling incidents like the fishermen blow up at sea appear to have been quietly pushed aside, raising serious concern about transparency, accountability, and those voices truly matter. The cost of living remains high, placing continued pressure on ordinary citizens trying to make ends meet. The national budget feels overwhelming, almost like a tsunami, leaving many to question sustainability and direction. And now tension with the UK over citizenship by investment program adds further uncertainty to an already fragile economic landscape. We are also seeing what appears to be a willingness to bow to external pressure, agreeing to take in refugees who are not St. Lucians, while at the same time seemingly turning our backs on Cuban professionals who have contributed meaningfully to our society. After 100 days, the fundamentals remain unchanged. The issues persist. The priorities are questionable, and the people are still waiting for real impact. If this is progress we will promise, then the question must be asked, progress for who? This was from Sarah Alexander. All right? Yes, we're taking calls tonight. We're going to be taking calls very easy. So here's, and I want to be very fair and balanced in my approach, because these are serious times, I can tell you. And it is always good sometimes to say, I told you so. And the signs were there, like I would say to you, coming events do cast its shadows. Yes. And all these events, folks, that are unfolding right now, cast a whole lot of shadows. And not only that they were casting shadows, people were warned. People were warned about these shadows that were being seen. Some were acting like they were blind. They had no eye salve. They had no visions, and so they were arguing and cursing and quarreling and calling people out of their names, and it was just a whole melee, my friends. And we saw in the region the confusion that took place. We have politicians in most of the Caribbean now calling early elections. One is calling in Antigua. He's calling his election a year and a half in advance. And we saw over there in Barbados, the Labour Party strategists, they are asking them to bring that bell as urgently as possible, as soon as possible, because what the forecast that we are seeing, it is not really good. And the turbulences that are before your nations, it seems that it's going to it will take a lot of your attention and time and resources, and the possibility that is there that you might have to squeeze your people with high gas prices, with high food prices, with high taxes. You will have to squeeze your people, and once you start squeezing people, then they are going to turn their backs on you. And so this is the forecast out there in the world, in the region, my friends. And I am saying these are tough times that you guys got to brace yourself for these many challenges that are before the nations of the world. They have been prophesied too. When you look at Daniel and Revelation, it speaks of a time of trouble such as man has never seen. We spoke of a time of little trouble and a time of big trouble. And if you think this is big trouble that you're seeing, you have not seen anything as yet. There's also the prediction of wars, rumors of wars. We see the United States president running into war and just walking into it, sometimes without clear plans. And what you see is at some point the president has said, okay, we had enough. You all come and help us now. The rest of you, you're supposed to help us now. How are we going to get out of this? Okay, we're talking to ghosts. Basically, that's what you're hearing. We're talking to people. The people who he's talking to is saying that we're not talking to you, so we don't know who you're talking to. So the world is in chaos. Water supplies are in crisis. Electricity is uncertain in some nations. Food, the oil right now, people are bracing themselves for impact, because whether you like it or not, in your country, the gas price is going to go up. It's in Lucia, it's going to go up. There's no doubt about it. I heard the Prime Minister saying, well, for the next few weeks, it will remain the same. And then he keep hinting that if anything changes, we'll come back and tell you. In other words, they already know what is happening. They already know the forecast for the next few weeks, that the gas prices will go up. There is no if and buts about it. And who's going to pay the price? You're going to pay the price at the pump, of course, because if you listen to especially the Prime Minister in St. Lucia, he's saying, look, we have done a lot to cushion to subsidize gas. We'll continue to do the cooking and other things, cooking gas, but the gas at the pump that you put in your vehicles, ain't much we can do there. And I'm telling you, you just got to brace for what is about to come. Food prices, yes, there are going to be shortages, little shortages here and there. I mean, the world is in serious trouble, and I am saying, look, it's of biblical proportion as far as I'm concerned. Don't talk about the hearts of man being messed up. People want to cuss you and quarrel with you for nothing. People are not, who used to be your friend are no longer your friend. And all these stories, they have turned their backs. People are betraying people. People are becoming snake-like in their performance with each other. A whole set of nastiness. Gossip is on the increase. People are just saying things that they don't know about, getting into people's business that they have no calling with. Some of them don't even know what they're talking about. And they do it with a straight face. When they see you, they smile. I'm telling you, the hearts of men has waxed so dangerously cold. Families are fighting against families. I'm saying to you, friends, listen to me, there is no doubt in my mind that the times that we're in are of biblical proportions, and many people will lose their mind if they're not settled into some type of peace. You got to find your peaceful place and try to stay there, because I'm telling you, there's enough in this world to drive you up the wall, over the wall, and listen to me, there's just enough to destroy you mentally if you do not take breaks and reset and, get a little Sabbath, relax. Forget about all your cares and your burdens and your stress for that day. Just relax and reflect, breathe again, because I'm telling you, friends, you will not be able to get breathing space based on the projection, based on where this world is heading. And that is true. Nation leaders will betray you. They will lie. They will manipulate. They will mislead you. They will not give you the tool, rather, so that you can prepare your families, yourself, for what is to come. They will mislead you. They will tell you everything is okay when everything is not okay. They will say to you, it's not me, it's them, and blame back and forth, while you have a situation. For instance, the water situation in your country, you St. Lucians. What you are getting now is not me, it's them. We didn't create it. It's them. You understand what I'm saying over there? But guess what? Your problem is there. Oh, yeah, we want to fix it, of course. But your problem is still there until the problem is actually fixed, until there's water coming through your pipes, clean water coming through your pipes, then your problem is not solved. It's still there, but your leaders will point fingers among themselves. The bourgeois, of course, will point fingers because they're not affected. They don't care a hoot, as far as I'm concerned. If they did care about you, then your infrastructure would not be in a mess at this time. Not at all. So let's look at 100 days. 100 days in St. Lucia, in St. Vincent, and in other parts of the world. Let's look at 100 days of the St. Lucia Labour Party leading St. Lucia. 100 days. Someone came on my live, a guy by the name of Guy Joseph from Denry. And he says the craziest things. He called me boy, and the disrespect, of course, because of people's opinion. You're disrespected, and because you don't have a voice. Now, this is the 100 days. You don't feel like you have a voice because there is this constant attack and attempt to besmirch and to belittle, all because they don't agree with you. And I respect everybody's opinion, of course, and I don't think that you should be quiet. I don't think that you should shut your mouth, but I think that you should be respectful in your communications. We can have, civil discussions, of course. That does not go on your mother, your auntie, your country of birth, and all this foolishness. Because none of us can talk about country of birth. Some of you say you come from Africa. Some of you said that you're American, St. Lucian, and Trinidadian, St. Lucian, and this, and all those things, but yet you act as though, like the sermon I heard on Sabbath, bent out of shape, over others. But something interesting, 100 days of the St. Lucia Labour Party. And this is what I came across today, and I need somebody to guide me. Let me know if this is correct. I don't know if it's the truth, if this is right, but it says the St. Jude Hospital General Admission Deposit. General Admission Deposit. I don't know if this is real. I went on the St. Jude's Facebook page and I found this. The truth is, right? The truth is, and let me just pull myself back over here. The truth is, when I saw it, I thought that, okay, it's AI generated. It's not real. Maybe somebody's just trying to make St. Jude's or the government look bad, and so they came up with this. That's what I heard. That's what I thought. All right? Because I'm not a hack. And I investigate, I look, I don't just grab things and post it and send it out. I try my best not to do it. If I can't verify it, then I'm not going to post it. I'm not going to share it. I don't care who it's from. If I cannot verify it for myself, I am not going to be an enabler of spreading propaganda. And once I figure out his propaganda, I will pull it back. I will repent. Because that's not my agenda here. All right? We got to have integrity at some point. Integrity should mean something to us. So this is what I found on the St. Jude's, on the St. Jude. That's in St. Lucia on the St. Jude platform. I still, even though I got it from that platform, I was like, okay. It's there, maybe it's real, maybe it's not. Let me just talk about it to see if anyone can say to me, yes, this is real. I experienced it. I heard someone went over there and they had to run to get money in order to pay for stuff. So I'm going to read what it says. St. Jude Hospital General Admission Deposit. Did you know? Know the deposit requirement for each ward. Maternity ward, $600. Pediatric ward, $200. Medical ward, $500. Surgical ward, $500. ICU, $600. And it says, scheduled surgical procedures. Deposit may vary based on the classification. It says, for more information, please contact the admission department. And there's a number, 459-6774, 459-6773, 286-7344, and 286-9462. And it says it is important to pay your deposit. I need someone to confirm this is true, it is real, because we'll have to dig a little deeper or have a more in-depth conversation on this. All right, this is the general admission deposit for the St. Jude Hospital. And I would want you to tell me if this is real, whether it is something that you're accustomed to, you're accustomed of paying these deposits, or maybe it's something new at St. Jude Hospital. All right? So please, 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 I need some guidance. I need some guidance from you, my viewers, tonight. All right? So that's for that. So you remember that there was a grand opening for, a commissioning ceremony, very expensive and big, for the St. Jude Hospital. You were told in November, I believe it was November the 23rd, 2005, that there is the handing over of the hospital. That is, the hospital is finished, and so the next phase would be commissioning. But I went back and I looked at, this is before this 100 days, of course, and even before the elections, the last general elections of 2005 of December 1st. And so I went back to just see whether there were any new information on the commissioning of the hospital there that was handed over by the contractor based on what we were told, that everything was in place and commissioning is the next phase. So I looked at and I'm not sure if this is, and again, somebody guide me, because I'm thinking that something is wrong either with me or my documents, my research. So the event of November the 23rd, was that the commissioning of the physiotherapy department of the St. Jude Hospital, or was it the handing over ceremony for the building? That is the clarification that I need. Was it a handing over ceremony for the building, or was it the commissioning of the physiotherapy department of the hospital? Was there two ceremonies? Was there one for the handing over? And was there another one for the commissioning of the physiotherapy? This is the clarification that I need tonight. All right. So 3 sets of clarification I need, and the lines are open. Let me just put up the numbers. Folks, you can call at any time, okay? Tonight is just calls we're taking. This is 100 plus days of the SLP in government. I want those of you on the ground to let us know, what do you feel? How is things? And don't be biased, of course. It's your government, whether you voted or not. It's your government. You're the one who paid the taxes. You're the one who feel what you feel. You're the one that got to go to the hospital at some point. So let's have conversations in a very balanced way. We're going to take a balanced approach to our discussion tonight. So let me pull this thing over again. Did you see this general admission deposit? Is this real? Is it true? Please let us know. Also, we need information. On November the 23rd, there was a ceremony at the St. Jude Hospital. Was this the same ceremony for the handing over of the building? All right. So, matter of fact, let's go over to the actual ceremony so that you can advise me if this is what it is.
Where you did, that's our nationality. Say Lucia, where you did. Say Lucia, where you did. Say Lucia, where you did, that's our nationality. I am a winner. Every year I giving them songs like Darren Sammy giving them runs. A winner, I'm a winner. Tell them I don't need no crown, cause I'm the people's champion. A winner, I'm a winner. Tell them they cannot hold me down, I jumping high like Love and Spencer. A winner, I'm a winner. Nobody can block my goal, you block my goal. Ooh, yeah.
So that is what I need some guidance on. So far, based on my information, it is that the St. Jude Hospital. Okay, so we just got notification from someone who said this, that my family, the fees for the hospital is true because a friend was just there and had to put down $500. So somebody just said that they have a friend who had to put down $500 at the St. Jude Hospital. Caller, you're on the air. Caribbean American News Media Platform. Oh, I think
Pastor Garfield.
Yes, my honorable friend. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Very well. And good evening to your listeners and viewers. Pastor Garfield, I just tuned in and took the invitation to call.
Yes, thank you.
You spoke about 100 days. I'm not sure if my call is particularly related to that, but I'd like to speak about, if you permit me,
Yes.
on the 2023-2024 CIP annual report.
Okay, talk to me. Is it out?
Which, of course, sorry?
That report was out, is out, right?
Yes, that report is now out. The 2023-2024 annual report.
Okay, good.
And I've taken some time to go through it.
Mm-hmm.
And some are it's very telling and revealing report. First, of course, one of the most important things is I noticed, and it's already been published in other quarters, like the British government,
Mm-hmm.
that there were 5,642 applications. And that's quite a few applications.
Mm-hmm.
They said that's an increase of over 400%.
400. Mm-hmm.
Now, Pastor Garfield, each of those applicants, if approved, would have paid $200,000 US as a minimum, right? For one passport. So the applicants could file, as we know, we've discussed that. But I like to keep things simple.
Mm-hmm.
And in the past, not every application has been approved. But if you go through the records, you'll see that there's a trend of approximately 70% of the applications. So 7 out of 10 applications
Mm-hmm.
are normally approved. They normally get the passport or the citizen. So to do some rough mathematics, 70% of the 5,642 applications would be approximately 3,950 applicants who will get approval, who got approved. And if you were to multiply that by 200,000 US dollars, you get about 790 million US dollars. And that's approximately 2.1 billion EC dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So I expected in the report to see some of that money, if not all of that money, but some of that money accounted for in the report. But I was surprised, Pastor Garfield, that in the report, the only revenue that is recorded or reported is 240 million EC dollars. Not the $2.1 billion, but 240 million EC dollars. And that money represents is collected by the government. Mm-hmm. Now, that is strange because that caught my attention. Because when somebody applies for a passport, they pay $200,000 for the application for the passport. They pay a fee to the government for the application, and they pay a fee to the lawyers to process the application.
Right.
The lawyer's fee is non-refundable. Okay. So, and the application fee for the government, some parts of it are non-refundable as well for the due diligence, etc.
Right.
But one thing I noticed, the monies that would go into the investment for the real estate, there's no record of it. So these monies would go towards whether it be a hotel development because it's for real estate, or whatever that development may be. But the report has no record at all of that money. And that is where the real substantial or substantive part of the money is. It is in the 200,000 US dollars per application. So my question is, if the report only shows the 240 million, where is the rest of the money? And who is responsible to account for that money? Now, I remember clearly that, vaguely, that there was a news report where the minister responsible for the CIP, Ernest Hilaire, said, am I still online? Hello?
Yes, you are there. And actually, I want you to know that I have the report. I have the website, the report on the program, on live. So while you're speaking, I saw a total revenue of 240.3 million, a 296% increase from previous year.
Yes, in the report, I'm referring to the news report, where he said that the monies collected for the passport does not belong to St. Lucia.
Yeah.
It belongs to the developer. Okay? And that came to mind when I read that, and I had some questions. So the question I have is, what is St. Lucia's role in this whole CIP thing? I thought we were selling passports or citizenships, and through that, we would get development, because that's the whole point of the CIP. Mm-hmm. The CIP, to my mind, and when I look at all the documentation and every time when they were trying to sell it to us, was that the CIP was designed to attract investment, to generate employment, to drive development, and to improve the well-being of the people of St. Lucia, actually to serve as a vehicle for national progress. Mm-hmm. But what I'm seeing is that under this government, the CIP is being used to extract benefits from St. Lucia, and those benefits accrue to a few people at the expense of the majority of the population. And let me explain this.
Talk to me.
One other interesting thing that I found out is that 85% of the people who applied for citizenship are from the Middle East, North Africa, and China. Now, remember this whole thing with the asylum seekers in England, in the UK?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Well, and the UK made reference to the CIP, and they said that the reason why they revoked our visa-free access to the UK is because there has been an increase in asylum seekers and people who are using St. Lucian passports coming to the UK and either seeking employment illegally, staying over illegally, or seeking asylum. Okay? And they did make reference to the CIP as well. Ernest Hilaire tried to make St. Lucians believe that revoking of our visa-free access to the UK had nothing to do with the CIP, but it had to do with St. Lucians who were going to England and seeking asylum. But in the report, it says something completely different from Ernest Hilaire. It demoted Ernest Hilaire. And like I said, 85% of the people who applied for passports are from North Africa and the Middle East and China. Now, guess what? In those countries, we have Sudan, we have Iran, we have Iraq, we have Afghanistan, we have Syria. Now, all of these countries, if you go look at the records, the people who hold the citizens of these countries are most likely to apply for asylum in England and Europe. So what do you expect when they have our passports? When they have our passports, it gives them visa-free access to England, and so they can get to England and apply for passports. So for asylum, sorry. So definitely, based on that report, one can extrapolate from the report that the people who are actually applying for the asylum in England, who have caused us to lose our visa-free access to the UK, are the people that we are selling passports to, that we are not doing good due diligence on. How could we sell passports to Iranians and those people, and they're using the United States monetary system, the system, right? Because they pay in US dollars. Our passports are priced in US dollars. Right. And we expect that America will do nothing about it. Here's America at war with Iran. They've had sanctions on Iran for years. Yet our government has been irresponsible, reckless, not even careless, reckless with our program, selling the passports to whoever they want because they want to make money. But where is the money? Where is the money? Where is the money? At least if we had lost something and we gained something in return, we could say at least we got something. We nothing. We got $240 million out of 2 something billion that was paid of passports sold. That's for 1 year, you know. That's to 2023, 2024. Where are the projects for that 2 something billion? Okay, if there's no money, where are the projects? Is the money in an escrow account? What projects do you know that are ongoing in St. Lucia right now, which are CIP projects? Do you know of any, Pastor Clafford?
Well, I heard of the Canals. Is it Canals? That place is in Miku of Ufort, the hotel with Galaxy.
I'm not hearing you clearly. I hope you're hearing me better than I'm hearing you.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. Yes.
Yeah, I was told.
I was out.
Yes, I was told
Carry on,
that.
sorry.
You can hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, kind of.
Okay, let me just check the volume. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's not very well, but I can hear you.
Okay, so let me just increase my volume a bit so that you can hear me a little clearer. All right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So based on the report, it says that there was a jetty that was built in Miku for about 90 something or $90,000 from the CIP money. And there's a hotel that is being built, I believe, in Miku by Galaxy.
Okay. It's very interesting that $90,000 is peanuts, right? Because one passport is $540,000.
Yeah.
One passport.
Mm-hmm.
200,000 US is equivalent to 540,000 EC dollars.
Right.
So one passport could build 5 jetties like that jetty, and there'll still be money to start building another one. It puts that in real perspective, because the monies we are talking about today, the estimate of expenditure and revenue were presented in the House, right?
Yeah.
It was for $2.1 or $2.2 billion, or somewhere like in that region.
Yeah, almost $3 billion. Yeah.
The amount of money that is unaccounted for in the report, Pastor Garfield, is over $2 billion for 2023, 2024. It is not accounted for. Only $240 million is accounted for from the sale of 5,642 files. And there are no projects of any magnitude to where you can see the money has gone into it. Canal Hotel is at a standstill.
Is it? I got some pictures from
and
somebody.
the Rock Hall housing project never ever started. So the projects that they are speaking about, for example, I heard that the project at VGB, this controversial project, is going to be a CIP or is a CIP project. But again, we're not being told how much that project is going to cost. I am being told it is the same Caribbean Galaxy again. So we are dealing with the same company that ripped off St. Kitts and Nevis, that for 7 or 8 years cannot deliver a hotel in Newport. And now we are still giving them projects, and something is uncannily suspicious about what's going on. And I know that some people may think this is a recurring decimal. This conversation about CIP is a recurring decimal. When you're dealing with people who are very good at what they do, whether they're doing good things or bad things, one day they will be caught. Because The reason why they're holding back these reports, because as much as they try to make them as glowing as possible, they did not release it before the elections, is because they know that these reports are damning. Sooner or later, St. Lucians will realize what's going on. And so, Pastor Garfield, I just wanted to put that out to the public. And lastly, one I find very, I don't understand it. On the 16th of November last year, I saw the Minister of Health in a ceremony give a big, big key to the Prime Minister of St. Lucia to St. Jude Hospital.
What was the date?
The 16th of November, 2025. And so, up to the 24th of March 26th, the hospital hasn't been commissioned.
24th, yeah.
It hasn't been opened. It hasn't treated a patient. It hasn't dispensed any medication. It hasn't run a test. Okay? It appears that the Prime Minister lost the big key. So I'm calling on your listeners and yourselves to help the Prime Minister find
Okay, just bear with us, folks. We had a technical fault there. You're listening to Caribbean American News Media Platform. Our caller is reconnecting, so we'll give him time to finish his statement. That is our brother Jimmy Haynes, who is from the island of St. Lucia, and he's just bringing to our attention that there is a CIP report for 2023-24 on the website of the CIP. I just pulled it up there. Let me just bring it over so I can share with you. So we had revenues of EC $240.3 million, and that is an increase of 296% from the last year, which was 60.6 million. And we have financial surplus of EC $89.9 million. Again, that is up from previous year to 94% from EC $22.8 million. That's in previous year. We have cash reserve, an increase of EC $65.8 million, strengthening financial stability. We have real estate investment growth, EC $88 million dollars here, but we're looking at I got to dig some more into that report. So that is 2023-24, and I believe that this report, people have been asking for it for a very long time, very late indeed, and we heard the Prime Minister sometime today with his revenues of estimate, I believe it is, budget for the year 2025-26 or 26-27, I believe it might be 2026. I got to look again too. He did, I believe, mention the EC 240.3 million in his statement. I'm sure he did, or maybe I heard wrong. All right, but this is the same program, friends, that is under scrutiny by international partners of St. Lucia. They're saying it's posing a risk for us in our country. The government is saying, well, we are going to be reviewing. All right, so we have a call coming in. We're going to take this call. Calling you on the air, Caribbean American News Media Platform.
Hello?
Yes, sir. You're on the air. You're on the air, caller.
Yes, Pastor Garfield. Good evening. How are you doing?
Not bad at all. Good evening to you, sir.
Yes, so the name is Patrick Ernest, and I'm calling you from the US. I have been following the CIP issue in St. Lucia,
Mm-hmm.
and from what I have been observing is that a lot of things seem to be very strange about this program.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about when Ernest they were being asked questions,
Mm-hmm.
he never gave us a direct answer to any question. Everything he was just going in circles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But my problem with St. Lucia is that why is it that we have so many educated people in St. Lucia, and you have a little group of people who are just manipulating everything about the CIB program, and we all have a mind and a brain, so we can see things that do not make sense. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, I got you.
And I'm hoping that St. Lucians can now realize, while a very small group of people in St. Lucia have been in charge of this CIP program,
Mm-hmm.
we are not seeing anything tangible for St. Lucian. And then right now, all of us as St. Lucians are being affected by the actions being taken by those bigger countries around the world.
Well, the government,
including the US.
the government says that you are the I in CIP.
He said what, sorry?
You are the I in CIP.
You have I.
No, you are the I in CIP.
Okay, so I don't know if I'm not getting the sentence that you're making.
Oh, it's not coming through clearly, right?
I mean I can hear you, but there's an echo, so it's doubling up on me all the time.
All right, so you can hear me clearly now? Let me know when you can hear me clearly. Is it clear now?
Yeah, it's a little better now.
Okay, good. Yeah, what I'm saying, the CIP and the government, there's an ad out saying that you are the I in CIP. In other words, they're saying that CIP is working for the people of St. Lucia.
Okay, so if that's the case, then why is it that now we have so much more difficulties traveling to the US, Canada, or the European Union?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, because I mean, what I'm saying, Pastor Garfield, it is common sense.
Mm.
We all went to school. We can count. We can calculate. You sell so many passports. They cost so much money. We need to total that amount, and we need to figure out how much of that money actually comes back to St. Lucia to benefit St. Lucian.
Yeah.
What is so difficult about that? So, my brother, all I want for our people, the people of St. Lucia, to realize what is happening.
Yeah.
These people, they are not being honest to us. They are deceiving us all the time. They want us to believe things that just does not make any sense to us.
Mm-hmm.
And we should really hold these people more responsible than what we are doing right now. We're just sitting down there allowing these people to destroy all our lives, and then nothing tangible is happening for St. Lucia. Nothing at all. I mean, when you hear something about a real jetty out there in Mikud, I mean, and okay, here's another point again, Pastor Garfield.
Talk to me.
If you own something and then you're selling it out, are you not supposed to be the one who makes the bulk of the money?
Yep.
But why are we only getting in the peanut part of it?
Yeah, we gotta look at this program because I don't think that the bulk of that money is benefiting the people of the country. I don't see it.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all, Pastor.
So I think that some type of restructuring is needed with this program to ensure that more.
Because here's the thing, Pastor Gabriel. Here's the thing. Not even at least half of the money you would hear St. Lucia, the country St. Lucia benefit from that.
Yeah.
We're hearing about little portion. I mean, when we're talking about $2 billion,
yeah,
that's real money,
Yeah.
Oh, Pastor Gabriel, we are in trouble.
Yep.
My brother, I can tell you that. I can tell you the worst thing about it. I don't know if it's because the bulk of our solutions, they don't know the value of money, and they don't know, what they are worth. Because right now, I'm telling you, with this program that is going on right now, and you see so many solutions now cannot travel to the UK or to the US. That's a serious problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know, my brother, but anyway, I'm going to keep listening to your program and to see what other people have to say. But I am very disappointed in our solution people.
Yeah.
Because they just allow these fellas to do things and just accept everything that we say to them without even asking them real serious questions.
Yeah. But I really appreciate your call. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you. All right, so that was a U.S. St. Lucian caller. The numbers, the lines are open, folks. You can call when you want. But I want to make a correction to, I said 90,000 for the jetty in Miku, but here on the CIP page, it says 921.776.06. So it's almost $1 million for that jetty from the CIP. This is what is on the CIP website, page number 10, I believe it is. Citizenship by investment. That is the Miku jetty. Approximately, it looks like it's almost $1 million of CIP money based on what the board is saying. Now I'm trying to get some other projects. I'm trying to get to that place of the investments in the country. So if you bear with me, you could call in the meantime. All are welcome to call projects. I see they're spending a lot of money. So it says record-breaking application. Let me just bring it over for you to see that the British will actually write in their assessment. All right. So here it says, this is directly from that report on the Citizenship by Investment program there in St. Lucia. And it says record-breaking applications, 424% increase in applications from 1,076 to 5,642. Folks, let me just write this down here. Yeah, so this is what they're reporting, and the British people were right. They were absolutely right. They did their homework. So you have this massive increase. This is a big increase, folks, right? Which means that there is a demand for the St. Lucian passport. There were a demand in 2023 and 24 for the passport. That's 424%. Did you hear that in the British concerns? From 1,076 to 5,000, almost 6,000. Well, I rounded off, but it's actually 5,642. 642 files, applications, with total revenue of 240 million. Wow. They have cash reserve, EC $65.8 million. Let's take this call. Call you on the air. Caribbean. All right. We thought we had that call. Let's pull in that call. Just bear with us. The system is acting up. Call you on the air. Caribbean American News Media Platform.
Good evening, Brother Garfield.
Good evening, my friend. Welcome to Caribbean American News. You are live on the air.
Thank you, Brother Garfield.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Garfield, with reference to the report that you're looking at right now, is the figure of 320, the 300 figure, is it in EC dollars, the total amount that has been collected?
The 240 million?
The total, yes.
Yes, that is EC. EC 240.3 million. What's on your mind? What make you what just tickle you there?
There are a few things on my mind, Brother Garfield. So if we sold $2 billion worth of passports, we literally got, is it 10% of that money or 1% of that money? I'm serious, Brother Garfield. And are we saying 2 billion US? Or are we saying 2 billion EC dollars? You see, we have to make sense of this.
The report here is in EC. The report here on the website of the CIP, which I am on right now, it says, let me just bring it over so our viewers can view it. It is, those of you who want your television, you'll be able to see it clearer. But it says here, EC, total revenue, EC 240.3 million, and that is a 224 increase application. The application went from 1,076 to 5,642 applicants. And you know what the applicants the applications are?
Yes, the applications may cover a family of 4. One application
Right.
may cover a family of 4. So if you're saying that we had 5,000, over 5,000 applications, let's say 5,000 applications according to them, that means we may have sold 20,000 passports.
Well, you went very high there.
I'm saying family of 4. I'm saying it covers a family of 4 or 5, 3 or 1. So should we go 3? Let's go 3. So that's 15,000 passports.
But I don't think they went into details with the actual amount of passports that were sold, and that is the important numbers that we need to have, right?
That's right.
So
And
instead
they
of
will not go
instead of applications, it should actually be also passports issued.
That's correct. Now, they will not go into how many passports were issued because we would know how many passports were sold and how much money was made in total.
As you're speaking, I'm going to go through to see if I can see that on the report, if there's the amount of passports that was issued. So the application would just muddy the water for us right now. Passports is going to give us more clarity.
That's correct. Now, they've told us we only made $200 million from the CIP passport sales, but we don't know how much money they made in total in passports. So we made a minuscule amount. We collected a fraction of the money that was sold. 5,000 applications could be 20,000 passports.
Okay, so let me just pull something up for you. Maybe we can have a discussion on it while you're here. So I am seeing some other stuff here that our people, let me just pull it over on the screen and we can have a discussion on it. Let me pull it over to the screen so our viewers can engage also. They can see what we're talking about. Let me just clear the screen. So it says here, application granted between 2016 and 2024. Let me just bear with me. So it says, let's look at applications received between 2016 and 2024. It is saying...
Now, why would they give us 2016? We already had those numbers.
Good. So what we wanted...
Why didn't they give us 2021 to 2024?
Right. So they went way back to 2016 to 2024 in this report, and it says, and by the way, let me just go through. The viewers are seeing it clearly. So let's go through this. It says in 2026 to 2017, 36 applications was received. 2016, 2017. In 2017 and 2018, 343 applications. In 2018 to 2019, 152 applications received. In 2019 and 2020, 193 was issued. In 2020, 2021, 383 applications received. In 2021-22, 583. In 2022 to 2023, we had 1,076 being issued. In 2023-24, the applications received went up to 5,642. Now they're saying, right, applications granted between 2016 and 2024. Let me bring it up so that the viewers can see it right while we speak. So in 2026, between 2016 and 2017, there were 17 applications granted. I believe this was under the Alan Shastey administration, all right? And between 2017, between 17 and 2018, 188 was granted. Between 2018 and 2019, 210 was issued. Between 2019 and 2020, 143. Between 2020 and 2021, 313. Between 2021 and 2022, we had 433. Between 2022 and 23, we had 544 applications granted. 2023 to 24, we had 1,172 applications granted based on the report. Application denied between 2016 and 2017. We had one denied between 16 and 17. Between 17 and 18, 27 denied. Between 18 and 19, 27. Between 19 and 20, 13. Between 20 and 21, 14. Between 21, 22, 9 denied. 2022, 23, 6 denied. 23, 24, 77 application was denied. Go ahead, my friend.
Brother Garfield, we have asked the government to tell us St. Lucians how many passports were sold under their watch when they came in from 2021 to 2022, from 2022 to 2023, from 2023 to 2024, 2024 to 2025, and now it's going to be 2025 to 2026. We are asking for how many passports the SLP administration in government has sold on an annual basis since they came into office. We are very aware of how many passports were sold under the Alan Shastey administration or the UWP administration when they were there from 2016 to 2021. We know how much money was collected. It is tabled in the parliament. We need the same from the current government. This, what they're doing, they're muddying the waters, is not working. There's no clarification in what they have given us, the so-called muddied report. Now, if you take a look at the first page of this report, the cover of this report, or the first page, But Garfield, what do you see? You see 200 and something million dollars in total collected from the sales. St. Lucia received, from the sales of passports.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you look, you will see their little symbols next to certain amounts of money as to where the money has gone or where it was budgeted to be spent.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the surplus and you cannot read and write, next to the 89.9 million dollars, what is the symbol?
Are you there, caller?
Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Go ahead.
Next to the $89.9 million allocated, there is a symbol. You know what the symbol is, Brother Garfield?
No, I came out of it. A what?
A pipe, a water pipe with droplets of water coming out of it.
Yeah.
If you can't read, what would you think this is? Surplus or monies allocated to water?
Allocated to water.
Precisely. The whole SLP administration needs to be flogged because you see what they do? Is put things out there visually for people to believe what it's not. We have serious water problems in St. Lucia. You're going to put $89.9 million allocated, or you put surplus and you put a water pipe next to that to make St. Lucians believe that you're spending $89.9 million in water, or you spend that in water. I want St. Lucians to look deeply at the things that they are being shown. I want them to read. Don't just look at things on the surface because they are being fooled. They were fooled into an election where they voted, 42% of people or how many came out to vote. Barely anybody voted. But those who came out to vote were deceived, were paid. And I say paid with a question mark.
Not all people was paid, huh?
I didn't say all. I'm just breaking down. Some were just hacks. They were fools. They just voted blindly.
They were what?
I said some are hacks. They just voted blindly.
Oh, okay.
Now, we're in 2026, and look at the report that has come out, and look at what they have done. Is that the information that we, the people of St. Lucia, ask the SLP for? But Gaffy, let somebody else call. Let me leave that thought with the St. Lucian people.
Okay, good. Now I was just looking at the report while I'm speaking.
Is that the information that we requested from the SLP administration? Thank you, Brother Garfield.
All right, thank you so much, my friend. All right. So, folks, the opinions on the platform are the opinions of the callers. Okay, we had another call coming in. Let's take it. Folks, I want to hear from you. You're on the air. All right. Caribbean American News Media Platform, calling you on the air.
Yes, Brother Garfield.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. My question is around the bush. SLP government sold the passport. Yeah. They sold the passports in US dollars, but yet they quote in EC.
Yes.
Which one is it?
It was sold in US. Sorry. But
so why are they telling us about EC dollars? We want to see figures in US, not EC.
Yeah, there's some figures in US. I am looking at a spreadsheet from the accountants, and for instance, you have due diligence fees quoted in US, which is US 8,000 for each qualifying dependent over 16 years of age. It is US 5,000.
So this is just how they play with. This is just how they play with the figures.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they quoted. Honestly, I don't know why they quoted earlier EC.
Because they're being dishonest.
You believe so?
Yes, I believe that. Because if you're going to tell me that you sell a passport for US dollars, and then you're going to tell me this is how much money I made in EC, they know there are people in St. Lucia that don't know the translation of US to EC, so they wouldn't know what we truly got.
Right. So while you're on the line, I'm just showing the viewers. This is from the report. It says processing fees per applicant is US $2,000. For each qualifying dependent, US $1,000. This is paid upon submission of the completed application to the CIP unit and recognized as revenue in the period it is paid. So they're quoting the accounting firm who did this for them give them their report in US, the figures in US, based on what I'm seeing here.
All misdirection.
And then the CIP board, it looks like they did the other parts at the top of this thing.
What a way to confuse people. There is one of the reasons I believe they took so long to come out with the report, because they truly had to work on that report to make it as deceiving as possible so no one will pick up on that deceit.
Yeah, I don't know what the intention is, to tell you the truth, but one part of the report is quoting EC and the other part is US.
The truth for so long, he's hiding it for a reason. So you cannot believe anything they tell you right now. It's like listening to Trump. Whatever he tells you, you cannot take his word for it. The SLP government is the exact same thing. So I find we're beating around the bush, comparing apples with oranges. If you sell the damn thing in US, when you quote the prices to us in your collection, say it in US. And why is it if I build a car and I give someone to sell that car for me, when they collect the money, you're telling me that's not my money, it's their money? What happened to my R&D that made that car possible? I will just give you my car to sell, and when you get it, you will tell me, look, 12%. That's nonsense. And this guy called himself a Minister of Finance. If this guy is a Minister of Finance, it is FINEANTS, Fomi Rouge. That kind of finance he is a minister of.
Yeah, because the accountant actually quoted in both EC and
I cannot believe anything these people say.
And US dollars.
They've been
it's
hiding
expressed
the
in Eastern Caribbean dollars.
Until finally they dropped the bomb. That's why they're taking solutions for fools. And this is not right.
Wow. So I'm just, while you're speaking, I was just running through the the report. So let me just pull it up for you, the viewers, to see that this part of it is expressed in Eastern Caribbean dollars. All right, so that you can see. You want to be transparent here. As you can see.
So let me just pull it up for you.
Right. So, Carly, you can go ahead. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Caribbean dollars, right? So that you can be transparent here. As you can see.
Are you there, caller?
So let me just pull it up for you. Right. So, Carly, you can go ahead. Yeah, you can go ahead. Caribbean dollars.
Like I said, I see EC dollars. I don't see US dollars. The passports were sold in US dollars.
Yes, it was sold in US dollars. But I guess maybe because the report is being given, I'm just making an excuse right now. Maybe because it is, I mean, it is being reported in the Caribbean, in St. Lucia, that they're quoting the EC dollars. I don't know.
But I guess maybe because the report is being given, I'm just making an excuse right now. Maybe because it is.
But I don't know what to say anymore.
It is being reported in the Caribbean, in St. Lucia.
It's called deception. It's called deception.
Okay.
I don't know what to say anymore.
See, when you get the true questions, nobody knows what to say.
Yeah. Well, what can I say, my friend? But yeah, we got to look at the report a little more in depth. I'm seeing it for the first time. For those of you who want to look at it, you can go directly to the St. Lucia Citizenship by Investment website, official website, and you can go to the bottom of the screen and you're going to see the different reports there. Let me look at agents. Who are the agents here in St. Lucia at this point?
And that's the problem. That report, there is no depth. There is no depth to that report. It's all shallow. For shallow-minded people, that report was created. There is no depth to it for you to dig into it and dissect it.
Yeah, wow. Let me look at the agents.
It's all shallow. For shallow-minded people, that report was created. There is no depth to it for you to dig into it and dissect it. Anyway, Brother Garfield, that's all I had to say. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much for calling, my friend. Thank you so much. Yes. The folks are sharing their opinions on the matter. I'm just looking at the agents. Let me look at the blacklisted companies. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blacklisted companies. BMAX or Galaxy is not on it. They are not blacklisted. But let me just bear with me, folks. I'm just looking at something here. Become an agent. Marketing agent. Let's look at the marketing agent. Wow. Latitude Trust is still an agent, is still a marketing agent. Henley and Partners. Latitude. They're still partners. I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised on that one. I am surprised. Bear with me, folks. I'm just looking at Citizenship and Corporate Services Limited, Foster Citizenship Corporation, Corporation Solution, Apex, Global Citizens Caribbean Inc. NTL St. Lucia Limited. Still in. I don't see any Galaxy on the list of agents, but it is what it is. Let's see if we can get at least another call on the platform. I want to convey our condolences to Dr. Fletcher on the loss of her sister. On behalf of the platform, our deepest and sincere condolences to you and the family. May you be comforted with the word that one day death will be no more. So condolences to you and the entire family, Dr. Fletcher. All right. So what we've had for the also there is reports, right, that Ronald Phillip is the acting commissioner of police there in St. Lucia. I don't think this was made known to the public earlier, but we are finding out today from the Prime Minister, or was it yesterday, that Ronald Phillip is the acting commissioner of police. The Prime Minister is saying that one will be selected very shortly. A commissioner will be appointed very shortly. We know that the St. Jude Hospital is not fully functioning as yet. The Prime Minister said today that sometime this year the hospital will be commissioned. So there is still no St. Jude in operation. I know the physiotherapy department has been commissioned and is functioning, and I believe also the kitchen. But the other parts of the hospital has not been commissioned as yet. We know that Wasco is in a crisis as far as I'm concerned. And many of you would agree with me, not because there is not enough water in the country, but because the storage capacity is compromised and the pipes are messed up. Infrastructure is a total disaster. And I would ask Mr. Stevenson King, who was under the United Workers' Party, the one responsible for infrastructure, what were you doing? And what are you saying now? I'm not even hearing Mr. King making any statement on Wasco, the water authority in that country. He would be the one who should be able to explain what is happening there. We're hearing about corruption and equipment that was bought and is not functioning, and we are finding out that the equipment did function. It ended up with some problems, and the supplier, they were in contact with him during COVID-19 to get parts or to get it up and running. And the question would be to the government of St. Lucia after 4 years in office plus 100 days in office, what have you done apart from investigating the previous administration? What have you done in the past to deal with this crisis in the country? What were you doing? Were you just patching? Did you focus on the dam, the replacement of pipes throughout that 4 years? And I know you did some work. I would not say you did not. I know you did some work in some areas in the country. You continued some of the work also in the country, but what needed to be done was urgent as far as I'm concerned, from the dam going right in, all these pipes that needed to be replaced. You guys should have been on that thing, just like you accused the Alan Shasta administration of not continuing, you said, the hospital. And if they had continued the hospital, it would have been finished. That's what you were saying, right? But then you came in and you knew you'd have heard from Allison, Jean, and all the others about the water crisis, and you would have heard from Wasco that we have a problem that is brewing. I'm sure they would have said something to you. The question again is, what did you do throughout the 4 years to deal with the water supply? Were you still patching? What were you doing? Were you looking for what? You know, now you're telling us machines and all these kind of stories, corruption. The people of St. Lucia don't want to hear this time about corruption. They don't want to hear about Alan Shastey and Guy Joseph. They want to know what you, who have been representing them for the past 4 years, and now you in the second term, 100 years, 100 days plus in, what have you done in that 4 years? Because you seems to have had, you know, heads up on most of the issues before, while you were in opposition, because you shouted from the mountaintop that there was a problem. Caribbean American News Media Platform, calling you on the air.
Good evening, brother. I think that's probably my novel call.
Listen, man, you have me with a big smile.
To your program.
You have me with the biggest smile that I've ever had in a while. The golden voice is on the platform. Greetings, you're welcome, my brother.
Yes. Just two things I want to deal with. The water issue and what you just made mention of, the hint of an acting commissioner of police. And I put it that way deliberately because I think one of the things we're suffering from in our country is the lack of transparency in governance. And the issue of transparency is a good governance signature. It's a good governance standard that we have to insist on. It's a right of the populace and the voters and citizens of St. Lucia to have a government that operates on the basis of transparency. You know, the idea of a police commissioner acting and that the previous one, Vanguard, that his contract is concluded and perhaps not renewed. These are things that should be out there in the open. This is why you have a press secretary, you know, and a communications unit. These are things that we should not just be discovering by the way. But my biggest concern, Brother Garfield, here is that in a period where over the last 3, 4, 5 years, we have had serious issues with crime, particularly violent crime and a spiraling of homicides, you get the impression that the office of police commissioner, there's almost a scenario of musical chairs. There isn't a sense of stability, and I don't know that that sends a healthy message to the populace and certainly the international community. You know, we have to understand that, for example, there are entities like the U.S. State Department that issues an annual report, which looks at issues like, you know, our status and performance in human rights and crime and various key factors. And what is the message we're sending out to the citizenry? What is the message we're sending out to the criminals out there? When every 6 months, every year and a half, there's a new commissioner. Is this important that in such an important post that there's a sense of stability?
That's right.
And for me, that's a new phenomenon that has set in. I don't know that existed before. When you had a commissioner, it was a post that, you know, that was stable. So I wanted to make that point. On the second point of our water crisis, I mean, that's a whole big discussion.
Yeah.
I am concerned that we're not getting sufficient discussion of this at the level of, our government and our politics. We just came out of a campaign, and that was not on the forefront in terms of what do we do as a nation to deal with this scary, crisis that we have. How are we talking about developing expansion, new hotels, and we're faced with a serious seasonal water situation? I mean, I saw a video of the Marquis River, which was reduced to a dry bed. I mean, people were literally walking in what is supposed to be a river with no water. Now, I speak of that and I reflect on the history. And a gentleman by the name of Gabriel Coco Charles, who was a former chief forestry officer, who warned St. Lucians and admonished us at the reckless way, somebody used that term earlier, in which we were developing our country.
Yeah.
And we go back to the phenomenon of bananas and what happened there. And so I say all of that to say our Prime Minister speaks about going to Timbuktu. And of course, we know there is no water in Timbuktu, But what is the plan? When you have a crisis, you're supposed to present a plan to combat or deal with that crisis. And as of now, we call talk shows, we complain, people say, we have not water for 3 weeks, for 3 months, whatever. What is the national plan to deal with this emerging water crisis if we are at all serious about the development of our country? So I wanted to flag those two issues and to point to some related concerns, if only to contribute to your discussion tonight.
Thank you
but
so much.
I think one huge problem we have in this country is that we stand by too much as spectators and allow things to take their own course. We don't have a strong civil society movement that makes demands and serve as watchdogs and pressure our governments and politicians to do things the right way.
Yep, and that's why we're speaking here. It's very important for us to have people like you, and a strong media and a strong citizenry that is involved.
Yeah.
They're involved.
Our citizenry needs to wake up. We need to wake up. We need to reclaim as our right as key stakeholders in the development process. So it is not just every 5 years we go and make that TICWA, but we have to remain vigilant in monitoring what's going on, because I think our governance process is falling short in serious ways. I mean, there are major projects being approved in this country without any significant consultation with the citizenry.
Yeah.
This is not good governance. This is not how modern day development is supposed to be conducted.
Yeah.
So we elect people and they become our masters instead of being our servants.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Thank you, Garfield.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yep. And this is our last call, but he's right that you need a more engaged people, not a people who are always eager to curse you about your mom, your dad, tell you about your personal business. We need the citizens to start talking about their business in the country, the infrastructures in their country, the medical, the hospitals, medical care, water. This is the real conversation need to have. I don't want to hear that PGP ugly or he's not my prime minister. He is the prime minister of the country. What we need to be talking about is these major issues, my friends, that are affecting or will affect also the generation to come. Because, I mean, our infrastructures are crumbling. They are messed up. One thing I realize that the government of St. Lucia is doing right now that I support 100%, and that is the new boys training center. It's for both boys and girls that they're going to be converting that old school into what school is that? Is it George Charles Secondary School or one of those schools there that are no longer? They're going to turn that property into a place where we can house those troubled boys and girls. To get them out of the general population of Bordelais and have them in a place. St. Vincent had an effective one. My brother used to work there. As a matter of fact, he was at that home. Then he became a teacher there at the center and worked with the government for a number of years. So it works. It helps to rehabilitate and to get our young men back into society. And I believe that I applaud the government for such a bold approach. And they got my 100% support on that. I have no doubt that in the future, that will be recognized as a very good project for the island of St. Lucia. So kudos to the St. Lucia government for, thinking this through and for getting somewhere for our boys and girls who are troubled to be, in a controlled environment, in a secure environment where they cannot escape to go and do any harm to anyone in the community, like we saw some years ago. One escaped from the home and killed a woman in the community. The mother took the child there because she realized he was troubled, realized that he needs to be controlled. He needs help. He needs to be restricted. And so she took him there out of good faith, believing that something would happen. And the boy was able to escape from the hands of the place that she thought would have been secured and her son would have been taken care of there. And then she now have to mourn that her son killed an innocent person. So she now is dealing with that and have to deal with her son who is troubled. And that's a lot for a mother, So I 100% support this new facility that the government is putting together for the citizens, for the people, those troubled kids, youth who get themselves in trouble with the law, so kudos. But folks, this has been another Caribbean American News Media platform. Looking forward to being with you, God's willing, another Tuesday. May God bless every one of you as we continue to speak up, stand up, and do what we got to do, as citizens, to agitate for what is good. And I stay away from all the nastiness that, that you sometimes slip yourself into. Let's deal, as I said, focus. You need to focus in these times because indeed there are troubling times that are before. The Prime Minister said in his statement today that they might have to revisit the budget. They might have to make adjustments. He knows what is coming, and they will be making adjustments. And again, some of the adjustments will affect you, the citizens. And if you are just saying, clap it and say, yeah, my government is doing good, whether it's UWP government or SLP government, any society that start clapping, even when they're being hurt from the government, will end up in a very, very bad place eventually. And your democracy will be eroded and confused because you are so into your party that you're not even realizing that you're being hurt by your government and you need to speak up. You need to stand up, and forget about the hypocrisy that we do sometimes. And that's why I hear a lot of people say now, country first. It's about country. Our party, we love our party, but it's about country. If my party is going to affect my country in a negative way, then I want my party to know that what they're doing is hurting the country, and they need to abandon that project, or they need to abandon that idea that they have in their head, you know. And we saw what happened with the Margie situation on the beach, where the people came together and say, oh yeah, Jack don't want me on the beach, blah blah blah, and she benefited at some point. And now we have another Maria, I believe her name is, who is going through that same motion. There's some type of confusion and stuff like that. She's been there all these years, and I can understand what Marie is going through, because she's been there, let's say, for 30 years. She has grown into that space. That's the only space that she knows. And as you get older, you get accustomed of doing this one thing, and that's what you want to do. You sometimes it's hard to adjust to change, and so we got to understand that we're not going to beat up on her. We're not going to, you know. She's a St. Lucian. She have contributed. She has a business, and I am hoping, I'm praying that, like I heard Invest St. Lucian, the others are saying, look, we have a space for her. We're going to ensure that she's okay. We're going to move her in. If there's any inconvenience to her, we're going to step in and try to help her out. And we hope that that is realized, that she can settle into her new space, but that new space must be available so that she can move in right away, because she might have clients, she might have orders that she got to fulfill. But again, you also got to look at the sentimental attachment to the spot. She's accustomed of that spot, and as I said, as she get older, psychologically, she's just settled in, rooted in to that routine, that area. And for you to just uproot her, it's going to be very difficult. That's why we got to use, I think 40 years, Martin is saying, 40 years is even worse. You know, it's going to be hard for her. And we got to monitor her health, monitor her emotion, her mental health also in the process. That's where you will need professionals to come in and help. It is not just giving somebody money and moving them from a spot. Especially 40 years, that person will need counseling. They will need guidance. It's not just here's some money or here's a new spot, you got to move over. So if we're going to, like the Prime Minister said, put the people first, I think we need to get professional help in this process to help to move her from that area. Let's take time with her. Even though you have a project, date humans first, the people of St. Lucia first. You have a project date for her to move. Don't force her. Help her. Take time. Say to her, look, the property, the new facility is finished. We're going to help you move. We have our professionals. They're going to come. They're going to help you. You try to cushion the emotion or the negative emotions that will come with replacing her. So I'm praying that the government, in good faith, would look out for her well-being, just like they look out for Margie. Look out for all St. Lucians who have been in areas in the country vending for a while. Don't just rip them out. You break their spirit. Sometimes you lead them into their death because of emotional distress. So it takes a lot. So we need to start stepping up and being professional in our approach to development and to all these stuff that we're doing. But change is difficult and hard sometimes, and we got to just take our time. There might be a project date. Humans first. You can postpone, you can push, you can delay your project start to accommodate this woman. There ain't no rush. The beach is going to be there. The place is going to be there. But she has a time frame even to live. All of us have a time limit to live. So take your time with her. 40 years, man, of contributing to the society and feeding her family and people enjoying her her food and everything. Take time with her, government. I know you will. Take time with her and get the necessary help, emotional and professional help to deal with Miss Marie. All right? Please, okay? So I'm going to read your comments and then we're going to go on, all right? So it says here, this person is Cecilia Francis. Chastain didn't think of our future when he made the deal with DSH. Are you a Lucian? You don't vote. You don't vote Sati La stink of poop. Okay, so this is a very disgusting person, of course, that has no manners, no brought up. See, and these are what is bad for the development of your country. People like these who lack emotion, lack anything else, and lack respect for others, people that they know nothing about. I am not sure what DSH they're talking about. There's an investor that came in during both SLP and UWP's time. I don't believe in leasing any property in the country for 100 years to anyone. It's like giving it to them. But there is a private an agreement between government and a private developer to do not only a horse track, but to do more developments of Vieux Fort. As I looked at the blueprint for that place, it was not only about a horse, it was an overall development over there in Vieux Fort that would have impacted the community, and it would have employed a lot of St. Lucians based on what I'm hearing. So not all the junk that you hear that you just swallow. You got to do your own investigations. You got to ask questions. Some of you get very emotional about nothing. And even things that you don't even understand, you get emotional about it. Some people are just sometimes emotional wrecks because they don't take time to understand, and they step into discussions with disrespect. And that's what's lacking in our society: respectful, disciplined people. When you have this person, Cecilia Francis, maybe have no brought up, would come onto this platform where we have a decent discussion and an honest, open discussion about development of the country. And this is what, I'm not sure who is not a St. Lucian. Mr. Shastner is a St. Lucian. If you're referring to me, I am a St. Lucian. And you said don't vote. I did vote in the last elections. I am not sure who you're talking to. And you said Satila Stink. I don't know who is Stink. A very decent, respectable, well mannered individual. And my recommendation to you as a professional is to go get some help. Go get some help. Because if this is your approach, you are in for a very rude awakening on this side of life. Disrespect don't take anyone anywhere. And in a disciplined society again, an unrighteous society, breeds a lot of unrighteous acts and penalties and consequences. So please, my advice to you at this time of the night is to reflect on your behavior. Take a time out and reflect on your behavior. And I'm sure you're repeating this because somebody told you one of us is bad or I am not good. I'm sure you're feeding off of some careless person who misled you. And because you're not wise enough for yourself, you just join the disrespect bandwagon, of course. And then you so blight and decay on yourself. And then you wonder, what is happening to you? What is going on with my family? Why is this happening to me? It's because of your disrespect, your nastiness. All right? So you go. I'm extending grace to you. You go and think about your actions. Think about how you deal with others, how you communicate with people that you don't know. Get yourself together. Time is running out. Time is running out. All right? So I hope I brought some clarity to your confused mind that if you're speaking to me, I am a St. Lucian, and I am a voter. I did vote in the last elections, just for your information. All right? So let me see if I can read some other comment. And I think the best thing to do, is to remove this person from the platform, because this is not what I want for the platform. I want decent, responsible people who want to engage from either side, because at the end of the day, you are all St. Lucians. You are all sons and daughters of St. Lucia. All right? And remember that. You do not have to disrespect anyone. You do not have to do it. Be nice to each other. Folks, have a beautiful night. This has been another Caribbean American News Media platform, the news that you, my friends, report. Go out there and brighten the corner where you are. Be a blessing to someone. May God bless you as you sleep in Christ.
Welcome to Caribbean American News Media. Let's get to work. I'm here